Hello, my lovelies. We are 13% funded for the Kickstarter and really wanting to get those numbers up. I'm really excited to bring this content to you. I'm really excited to share the Mastering the Game of Allyship book with you guys. So today I want to jam on a topic that I haven't actually talked about in a while, but is a really powerful one, and it's one that's sort of come up for myself as the stresses of being a crowdfunder happen. It's a whole wild, weird world to not just be sitting back and making content and having a good time, but actually having like goals and doing stuff. So a few parts of me have emerged that I was like, oh, if these people are still showing up for me, they're almost certainly showing up for everyone else in their allyship practice. And that this particular region of my interiority, my insides, is the victim, persecutor, rescuer triangle. For any of you who've been following me for a while, this triangle is a space. It's a cultural space. It's an interior space. It's the place where many people get stuck in the guilt, shame, and avoidance spiral. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you're in your victim, it means that you feel as though you don't have power. You garner sympathy, you have a sort of terrible experience, and it is the job of saviors to come in and fix things. Sometimes the saviors, sometimes the rescuers are known as heroes. We wait and we look for heroes as we as the victims wait for that. And the victims always have a persecutor. There's always someone out there that is making life difficult for you, that's made you a victim. And then there is some savior, rescuer, hero who's gonna come and sort of fix that. Now, in my teachings, what I always used to ask people is, which part of the victim, rescuer, persecutor triangle has the most power? And for the most part, when I ask that question, people are like, well, obviously the persecutor has the most power. Sometimes people believe that it's the rescuer that has the power. It's like, well, they're the ones who can bring the victim out of victimhood. The persecutor is the one that put them in there. Obviously, these two have powers. And here's a fun shadow thing for you. They all have the same amount of power. Why is this important? And how could that be? Well, the victim has to choose to be a victim. There are certain contexts in which you get to elect to be a savior, or you elect to be a persecutor. These are all perceptions. These are all almost like energetic breakdowns where to someone who I don't like, who I think is ruining my life, they become my persecutor regardless of what they've done. Anyone who gives me the things that I do like become my rescuer. They're like, oh my God, you guys did it. It's amazing. I'm so happy. But in both those situations, it is my identity as a victim that gives people those powers. So the victim gives their power away, but only someone who is powerful can give power away. And the rescuer can only become the rescuer by getting the power from the victim, and the persecutor can only do that. And so they all end up being pretty equal. And we all occupy all parts of those. I'll take myself right now. I start off this video being like, we're close to getting our goal. Guys, help me out. There's a very subtle thing that happens there. And suddenly I'm the victim. I'm the victim being like, I'm the victim to not being at the goalness. And the persecution comes by my own audience for not helping and showing up in these ways. And the rescuer also gets to be the audience. Don't be the persecutors that are keeping me in this victim space. Become the rescuers who can come and make the Kickstarter thing happen. I'm not interested in that. I decided to do a whole video when I caught myself doing this because this work goes deeper even than those narratives. Our entire system of marketing, of talking about the work that we do in this world is built on this triangle. I'm inside of it, tattling on myself. One of the first things that I really wanted to do and value in my own allyship is transparency and openness. So what do we do if we're not going to be in the victim, rescuer, savior triangle? What can we do? Well, first off is that instead of being victims, we get to be warriors. Here's the warrior. Here's the number of things that we've gotten today. We've got 13%. That's amazing. And we're going to do 14% and 15%, and we're going to keep going. That is the thing that I commit to myself, and I'm excited to not succeed at this. Showing up to my game, showing up to these contexts, showing up in my authenticity, that this is the dopest practice for being an effective ally that I've seen in the world, and I've seen a lot of them. I made this one because I was dissatisfied with all the stuff that I'd seen. As far as being a rescuer, I don't need any rescuers. You don't need to rescue me. I'm good. I got my Rolodex. I got my people. By hook or by crook, we're going to make this happen. But if you'd like to ally with me, See what I did there? If you'd like to ally with me in making this stuff happen, more the merrier. It's gonna be dope. By the end of this, we're gonna be like sipping metaphorical champagne, being like, wasn't it so amazing that we got to this phenomenal place? And again, I'm happy to share that with you. Let me tell you real clear, I don't need it. I'm gonna get there on my own self in alignment with my values, and I'm gonna do it in a fun and easeful way, because that's what allyship is for me. As I'm being an ally to others, I have to live out that experience in myself. So what do we do with the persecutor? I'm glad you asked. The persecutor is the challenge. There's no persecution. No one's ruining my life. I've got a challenge in front of me. That's to get $20,000 in 30 days. The challenger is my teacher. The persecutor is my teacher. It shifts from being woe is me to here's an opportunity for me to meet myself at the edge of my capacity. This is an opportunity for me and my community to meet ourselves at the edge of our capacity. And I'm excited to see it. I look forward to the challenge that's in front of us. I look forward to having fun and ease as we get there. I look forward to seeing who I am and seeing how powerful I can be in this zone. And I'm really excited to see how many other allies show up and join in, because we got some cool stuff going on, and I'm excited to share it. So if you haven't backed the Kickstarter, back it. If you haven't shared it, share it with your friends. Invite other people. Don't be selfish. Let other people have the opportunity to sign up to this challenge. And then, yeah, we're just going to keep trucking along. Have a really great 30 days. Peace, y'all.